Now, pretty much in everybody's preseason NBA standing predictions, the Atlanta Hawks were at least a top 6 team in the Eastern Conference. I predicted them to be the 5th seed at the end of the year. And I mean, that could still happen, but they've had their COVID issues, their injury issues, and they are currently 17-22 with the 4th worst record in the Eastern Conference. So what is going on, everybody? How is everybody doing today? I've done an Atlanta Hawks rebuild in 2K22, and it was a fantasy style, so I'm excited to do a realistic rebuild with them. And I don't really know how I'm going to take this rebuild, so that's why I'm kind of excited for it today, because I could take it in so many different directions. Now, we have our star player in Trae Young, fresh off that new contract extension. He's under contract for 6 more years at around average of 30 mil a year. That will go up exponentially after this year, because he's making 10 mil this year or something like that, 8 mil, and then it goes up to 29 mil. Next up, we have Clint Capella, who's also off a new contract extension as well, and I think he could be the center for the foreseeable future, and I just got him in the Mavericks rebuild, as you saw, so he's going to be here, though, unless he is involved in a trade later on. Maybe Onyeka Okongwu showing that he could be the long-term center, and that's who we go with. John Collins has been linked into some Ben Simmons trade rumors. Now, I could pull the trigger on that, but I am not going to, because I did get Ben Simmons also in the Dallas Mavericks rebuild. So I am not going to touch that trade. Maybe we look at a Sabonis idea. Not really sure. Danilo Gallinari has 2 years left on his deal. I'm not a huge fan of the contract. I mean, who is? He's 33, so he's going to see some major regression. I don't even know if he'll be a trade candidate in the offseason, because I'm not sure who would want his contract, so he might be here going forward. Cameron Reddish, he's a player that I would hope can develop to be maybe our long-term 2 or 3, so I plan on giving him a lot of minutes this year. Bogdan Bogdanovic, same thing as Gallo, but he might have an extra year with that $18 million player option. We'll see what happens. Maybe he's involved in a trade, maybe he's not. DeAndre Hunter, I think I'm going to try the Hunter and Reddish wing combo this year and have Bogdanovic and Gallinari come off the bench, and Herter as well, who is also off a fresh new contract extension because of his great playoff run in the 2021 playoffs. So we'll see if that contract ages well or not. And then I guess we have a couple veterans here like Delon Wright, Lou Will, Gorgie Jang, and then 2 other youngsters we have is Onyeka Okongwu, who's the 6th overall pick in 2020. Need to get him decent amount of minutes. And Jalen Johnson. He might not find playing time this year, but I'd like to find him some playing time next year. Yeah, so unfortunately Lou Will or Jalen Johnson will not be in the rotation immediately. There will be in just like if an injury happens. So Okongwu, I would like to give about 15 to. We're probably going to go 20 to Herter, and that gives me with 1 minute left. Yeah, I really can't do a lot here. So I think I'm going to go 23 to Bogdanovic and Gallo, 28 to Reddish and Hunter, Trae getting 34, 30 to Collins, 29 to Capella. So this is what the team's going to look like now. I'm not sure if we'll make the playoffs. I'm sure we will, which I kind of hope we don't, but I'm assuming we will make the playoffs. So yeah, I'll see you guys if any big injury happens, or if I'm going to make a trade at the 2022 trade deadline. Alright, so it is February 17th, and we are the 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. We are 42-14. Okay, yeah, so a little bit different than what's going on in real life. We've just had some minor injuries, like Capella was out for a week, Okongwu was out for a week, but that's really kind of the only major things at the moment. Like, we still got Trae balling out, we got Collins balling out, DeAndre Hunter has been very efficient from 3 and from the line. You know what, I will take that. Gallo's been efficient enough where I don't mind that. He's been good. Bogdan Bogdanovic hasn't been too bad either. So him and Gallo has been nice off the bench. Cameron Reddish could be a little bit better. Capella's averaging a double-double. Kevin Herter's averaging 36% from 3. There's Okongwu, Delon Wright, etc. So yeah, I'm not going to be making any trades at this deadline. We'll see if we end up as the 1 seed. And yeah, I'll see you guys at the end of our first season. So we ended up as the 3 seed this year. So there goes maybe a top pick. We do have some trade assets if we wanted to add somebody. I'm just like thinking in my mind, the Hawks end up with like a top 10 worst record. They get lucky in the lottery and they could add Jaden Ivey. And just watching Jaden Ivey and Trae Young in that backcourt would be so much fun. Like I'm a big Jaden Ivey guy out of Peru. Wow. Yeah, a country in South America. What am I saying? Out of Purdue, I'm just thinking like I would love to see him with Trae Young in Atlanta. I'd love to see him with Cade Cunningham in Detroit, Jalen Green in Houston. A lot of people in my mock draft video on my second channel just dropped. Weren't a fan of that, but Ivy could play the 2 or the 3, and I feel like the Rockets could also use wings. Yes, it's a nice in the top 5 with bigs with Jabari Smith, Banchero, Holmgren, and Jalen Duren, but I don't know. I would like Ivy on a lot of teams. I'm sure we got Trae Young on an All-NBA team, and we did All-NBA 3rd team. Is that all we're going to get? And it is. So here we are into the playoffs. We have the Boston Celtics in round 1, my kryptonite, and I feel like, honestly, I don't feel very good about this series for some reason, but we do have a cheat code in Trae Young. 27 points, 10 assists. Man was a stud this year. 50, 40, 90 season as well. John Collins, 15 points and 7 rebounds. Not a bad year from him. Cameron Reddish did a little bit better at the end of the year. 55% true shooting. Would like that better into his final year before he's due for a rookie extension next year. Gallo was fine this year. He honestly might have upped that trade value, but I don't know if a team would want him. There's Clint Capella having a very good year. Bogdan Bogdanovic having a very solid year as well. He could be a trade candidate. Maybe a team like the Lakers would be interested. I know they were last year with like a Kuzma trade idea, right? Yeah, definitely. There's Kevin Huerter, who shot 34 from 3, 80 from the line. Maybe we look to move him in the offseason. I'm just kind of thinking ahead. There's a Kungwu, DeLon Wright, Gorgie Zhang. So for the playoffs, I'm not going to play DeLon Wright. I would like to play some of the guys that I think could be here next year. So like a Kungwu, I wouldn't mind giving 20 minutes to, and I'd like going 30, and let's just go 35 to Trae Young. Nate McMillan will be the coach for a little bit because what he did for them in the 2021 playoffs, bringing the Hawks to the Eastern Conference Finals, ended up losing to the Bucks, but something that happened mid-year with Ward Pierce getting canned and then him coming in. What an incredible job he has done so far after leaving Indiana. Not really on bad terms, but really kind of on it, was forced his way out there. So Trae Young, 31.7 assists and an L. Is that how this series is really going to go? I am not excited about this. And no, we do tie it up 1-1. We blow them out in game 2. Shout out to Capella, Cameron Reddish balling out. There's Trae Young dropping 41 points, and we're down 2-1. We lose by 8 there. Trae Young with 31 and 11. Collins with 24 and 11. I don't go down 3-1. Oh my goodness. We go down 3-1. There's Kevin Huerter with 22 points. Trae Young 13 and 10. 4 for 12. 6 for 14. 4 for 14. 3 for 13 from Hunter. Hunter has been playing not great in these playoffs. Not the worst, but like, come on. Get that field goal percentage up. Can we not lose in 5? And Cameron Reddish breaks his right hand. I mean, does this matter? I guess it technically does. I don't know if the game was already played, and I was like, why am I putting somebody else in the rotation? So, yeah, Kevin Huerter will start game 5, and we get gentlemen swept as the 3 seed. Collins 8 for 20. Hunter and Gallo come on for 8 for 20 as well. Just an embarrassing playoff series for a team that was the 1 seed at the NBA trade deadline. If we just kind of look at the playoff stats, who performed, who didn't. I'm not really going to take this into account too much, but Cameron Reddish was kind of dog shit for those games. John Collins wasn't very good. Sheesh, DeAndre Hunter wasn't very good. He did shoot 40 from 3, though. He was a little bit better than the aforementioned 2 guys I said. And then there's DeLon Wright, who was terrible in that last game. Nice. So Russell Westbrook wins Finals MVP. I saw a tweet. It was funny. He like bricked a shot against the Grizzlies, and it's like, this is the guy that you would think that hasn't played in 941 days. Not Klay Thompson, who looked well in his first game back. Very well, actually. And yeah, Russ has had his down moments for the Lakers this year, you could say. All right, so we don't have any lottery picks, which is unfortunate. I was hoping to add maybe a top guy to this team. And our pick is at 25. The Pacers won the lottery. Now, that would be great for their rebuild. I don't know who they would take. I mean, if they move Miles Turner like Holmgren, because I don't know if they move Sabonis or they play Sabonis at the 5 and they take Banchero, or they end up taking Jaden Ivey, or excuse me, Jabari Smith Jr. possibly? I don't know. Like, there's no way they would look at probably Jaden Hardy at 1. So we do need maybe a new assistant coach. I wouldn't mind Steven Silas, but I think he's going to get another deal from a different team. Yep, never mind. I was hoping that maybe he would get no offers and he would come here to be our shot doctor. We just don't really have a lot of money to spend at all, actually. So, Josh Longstaff, welcome. All right, so we could take a quick look at the mock drafts and see where they have us, or who they have us selecting at 25. Julian Champagne, okay, out of St. John's. We could also, let's see, we got Matt Cleveland out of Florida State. He was somebody that had some, like, lottery buzz going into the year, and Terry Eason, who I don't get a lot, which could be fun as well. So I have to decide right now if I'm going to make a trade. We do have a lot of talent on this team, so I might make a move. So the Bulls have the 11th pick in this draft. I wonder if they'd prefer getting Kevin Huerter for 11. Now, Kevin Huerter, good player, great 3-point shooter, but we just have so many players that I want to get minutes to next year. I wouldn't mind moving Huerter for 11. I don't even know if they would accept this. If they didn't, then I would probably include these 2 picks, but I think that'd be nice value for us, and it kind of brings me back to like the Jeff Teague 3-way trade for 11 a couple years ago. I would say Teague at the time was a little bit more valuable than Kevin Huerter was. Both kind of involved the Hawks. Actually, I don't even know if Teague involved the Hawks, because it had the Jazz, the Taurean Prince, whoever selected him, and there was one other guard. I think George Hill was also involved in that trade. And yeah, I think I'm gonna look to offer the Bulls this. I think they're a team that is trying to compete, so they would give up their first for a good 3-point shooter in Kevin Huerter. And I don't think there's anybody else I'm gonna throw in this trade that I really have under contract that I'd be like, yeah, sure, take them. Yeah, so I'm gonna offer them this trade, and they counter with a second and Marko Simonovic. Sure, we could do that. I don't really need Simonovic, but he could just be a throw-in. So now we have pick 11, which is kind of nice. I know I'm just kind of looking to draft a young guy. We clear up some cap space. G. Montero for looking at a better backup point guard because DeLon Wright is most likely gone. So there's going to be some options there. There's going to be G. Montero. There's going to be Kennedy Chandler. There's maybe like a Ty Washington. Is Trevor Keels here as well? Yep, Trevor Keels. So there I think is going to be plenty of options for a backup point guard at 11, and that's who I want to draft. So Jabari Smith goes number 1, which means I guess they're going to move Sabonis to the 5. I mean, they haven't even moved Miles Turner yet. Chet goes 2 to the Kings. That'd be a nice selection. Patrick Baldwin goes 3. Paul Banchero goes 4. There's Jaden Ivey off the board. There's Jaden Hardy. Usman Jang goes in the top 10. Keegan Murray goes in the top 10. And I think we have our first trade. Yep, it is 9 for Paul George. Oh my God. Okay, this reminds me of like the whole Paul George, Russell Westbrook thing from a couple years ago. It involved Toronto. I think that was like a thrown out idea to get Kawhi to stay. Or that might have involved just getting Russ to the Clippers. But holy shit, what value for Toronto. What a win now move. I guess LA is just seeing, okay, we love a guy there. And Kennedy Chandler, you better hope he's John Moran. So that's one of the point guards off the board. I wouldn't see Cleveland taking one, but maybe with Rubio free agent. No, they take Harrison Ingram. So I'm on the board. Jalen Duren is still here. I guess in this draft class, he's rated very low because he will most likely be a top 10 pick. I'm going to look, I mean, like, there's some great talent here. There's Nikola Jovic. I can get maybe a long-term shooting guard in Johnny Davis. And I think if one of these 3 falls to, like, 17, I'm going to trade up for one of them, I think. So, point guard here, J.D. Davison, Gene Montero, Ty Washington are all great options. Trevor Keels here as well. But I'm going to go with Ty Washington out of Kentucky to be my backup point guard. So, we'll keep an eye on those 3 shooting guards that I mentioned. Looks like we have another trade involving the Minnesota Timberwolves. They're trading 13 for Jeremy Grant. It's a great trade. That's a great trade next to Karl-Anthony Towns. I love that so much. And that makes sense for the Pistons as well to get another lottery pick. Jalen Duren, yeah, that's a phenomenal selection. So there goes Benedict Mathurin. There goes Johnny Davis. All right, and who was the other one? I don't even remember the third guy that was there. Those are the 2 I knew. I guess it was Dyson Daniels. So we'll see if he falls to like that Boston pick, or is it just gonna be the run on shooting guards? Nope, we have another trade. It is 16 for Robert Williams. Okay, Knicks could be in the market for a center, and they take Rocco Prakicin, and then Celtics have back-to-back picks, and they take J.D. Davison. So we'll see what the Thunder are looking at here. I mean, it's going to be tough, really, to trade up just because of my assets. Like, I would give you 25, 23. I can't even move Sharif Cooper. Like, I would move Marko Simonovic. I doubt that gets me up there, and I don't think, like, they would want preferably Jalen Johnson, and I don't really want to trade Jalen Johnson, and I don't think they'd want Gallinari. Sharif Cooper would be nice, but he's not on a full NBA contract. Like, that's something I messed up on. So let's see. I'll offer that to them. They say no. So we'll see if, like, Dyson Daniels is there at, with the Rockets. Let's see. So that's pick 20. I would move 25, 23, and Marko Simonovic. I'm surprised I could trade him. I recently just traded for him. And they would want a future first. Nope. Not doing that. I could probably throw in a future second, but I'm hoping Dyson... Oh, there goes Jabari Walker. That's a great pick. So we got the 23rd pick for TJ McConnell, and they take G. Montero. That's actually a steal. You end up with G. Montero and Jabari Smith in this draft. Job well done, Indiana. Kevin Pritchard. John Buchanan. I don't remember. So, Miami, you could want more assets, right? You lack a lot. So, if you want to give me 22... Oh, and you have the stepping rule involved with you guys. Great. So, they take Scottie Pippen Jr. All right, Memphis... What are you thinking? You know you're a big trade down candidate guy. Alright, so this is us literally just trying to move up to 23. I snagged Dyson Daniels, who may never even play for us, but I just kind of like the potential. Man, I would have loved Johnny Davis, who might end up being a top 10 pick on draft night. He's going to get a lot of love. Oh, and they like Marko Simonovic. He's 1.5 stars to them, so they're definitely going to... Really? 2 spots to move up, and I'm giving you a 1.5 star player, and you say no? I'll give you this second round pick and that gets it done. Okay, that's funny. So, yeah, I'm going to take, I think Dyson Daniels. Trevor Keels is very appealing, or Bryce McGowan's out of Nebraska, but I'm going to go with Dyson Daniels out of the G League Ignite. I think he just has the potential to be good down the line. So, and all the guys do, but I just kind of like him for a team. So, Ty is actually a lower overall than Daniels. That's funny. But Washington will be getting the backup point guard minutes next year. Skylar Mays, former LSU Tiger, will be getting the qualifying offer. So, free agency... I think I'm going to run this team back fairly the same. Like, just... I don't know. If I can move Bogdan Bogdanovic, I will. And I definitely have a suitor in mind. So it's going to be the Cleveland Cavaliers. They have barely played Dylan Windler. They're a team that we know is young, up and coming, and they want to make something in the playoffs. They want to be constantly going to the playoffs. They want to be good in the playoffs. And this is a lottery first round pick in 2024, so this could end up being a 2025 first. And Dylan Windler, who they're not really playing, for Bogdan Bogdanovic, who could slide in as their sixth man. I don't know if they're going to bring back Colin Sexton, even if they don't. So this is kind of a big trade for them. So we'll keep an eye on that if they bring back Sexton or not. Yeah, so he doesn't even have any offers. We'll see what goes on there. I'm going to read out to the rights on basically everybody. And next year we'll have a $14 million trade exception to use. So that could be huge down the line. Sexton has not been signed yet. He's still restricted, so maybe he just comes back on the QO. Maybe I sneak in and try to sign him. Now that would just be like one of the worst defensive backcourts ever, with having Colin Sexton and Trae Young. So it's looking like the Suns, well, yeah, those aren't real offers. So I'm actually curious to see where he ends up. It is day 12, and I don't think he's signed yet. He has not signed yet, so is he going to go back to the Cavs, or does he take a one-year deal elsewhere? And he ended up not getting, oh no, he ended up getting, what happened? I can't trade for him? Can I trade finder? Nope. Okay. So I don't even know what team he's on. I think he's on the Cavs, honestly. So let me just quickly go to the Cavs. Just double check that. Yeah, he ended up getting re-signed to Cavs on the qualifying offer. So yeah, Bogdanovic can be their sixth man. That's a great pickup for them, and I think that's a win-win trade. So here's what our team's looking like. Gallo's regressing, I know, but it's the last year of his deal, which is nice. And yeah, this is a big year for Reddish, big year for Hunter, big year for John Collins. It's a big year for a lot of guys, like Okongwu as well. Okay, so yeah, this is going to be the starting five next year. I don't know who's going to be the sixth man. I honestly didn't think of that. So I think there's a good chance that Dyson Daniels plays a decent amount of minutes for us. Yeah, I don't know if I want to play Sharif. I guess Sharif Cooper could have been the backup point guard. All right, now I'm tempted to play him over Ty Ty. But I just spent the 12th overall pick, 11th overall pick on him. So I think Jalen Johnson doesn't need that many minutes this year. He can get like 13. Dyson Daniels can get like 8. Honestly, maybe 7. Washington, I would, but I gotta play Cooper. Damn, it's gonna be an 11-man rotation. This gonna get tough. So, yeah, it's pretty much gonna go 35, 30, 30, 31, 29. Then we have 22 to Okongwu, 17 to Gallo, 13 to Johnson, 13 to Washington. And then, honestly, I'm gonna play Sharif Cooper probably like 17 minutes a night as well. I'll go 5 to Dyson Daniels, but like injuries are going to happen, so this is going to change. We also signed Norvel Pell, Denzel Valentine, and Iman Shumpert as just some kind of minimum guys to wrap out the rotation. So I don't really know how to feel about this year. There's probably a trade to be made at the deadline, so I'll see you guys if any major, I guess sign up for the remainder of the year. Yeah, okay, and then what do we do here? All right, so there we go. So yeah, Cooper will be signed. There's probably a trade to be made. I'll see you guys if a big injury happens or at a specific deadline. Clint Capella gets a high left ankle sprain. He's out 2 to 4 weeks, and we're the 1 seed right now. Wow, Trae Young is just insane in the simulation. So yeah, that's basically going to be Okongwu getting a ton of minutes now. I'm probably going to play 30 to see what he can do at that starting 5 spot, because he's been killing it off the bench. And does that make Capella expendable when the season goes? I don't know. I'm not going to say anything. Not going to get ahead of myself. But it's going to make you think. All right, so we're the 1 seed right now, and I just kind of quickly want to come up here. It's December 23rd. Jalen Johnson and Sharif Cooper, shout out to the 2021 draft class, has been kind of crap this year. Like, Dyson Daniels hasn't been much. Cooper, look at that efficiency, just not very good at all, and Jalen Johnson isn't much better, so they're both been downgraded to 10 minutes a night. Ty Ty's been having a solid season, so he's going to get a little bit more minutes. Gallo's been having a great season for us, which is nice. Hopefully gives me one more good year in his last year. And then Okongwu, man, there's a part of me that just wants to start him at the 5. I don't know what we're going to do. Reddish has been solid this year. Hunter's been really freaking good. So we're going to figure it out. Trae Young, only averaging 19 points a night. He's playing 35 minutes. Not really sure what's going on there. Collins, okay, I guess that makes sense with like having a bunch of guys over 15 points a game. Yeah, he's still at a 99 shot tendency. All right, so I'll see you guys at the end of the year. Or excuse me, at the deadline, and I'll recuperate, see what's up. And there goes probably our best scorer off the bench, Neil Gallinari, with a right hand fracture. He was out now he's out 4 to 6 weeks. So it is the 2023 trade deadline. We are the 3 seeds, so I don't think I'm going to make any moves. We are 20 games over 500. I think we'll be fine getting a home playoff series. So yeah, I'm going to keep things pretty much the same. I'm hoping Hunter and Reddish's maybe field goal percentage get up a little bit more by the end of the year, but we'll have to wait and see on that. All right, so Gallo's open to coming back, and on the minimum, why not? Even if he doesn't play next year, might as well do that. So Reddish wants to test free agency, so does Windler, who's also from the 2019 class, but he's not playing for me. And Hunter is apparently not eligible, but Reddish wants to test. They were picked like so close to each other. What one was 4, one was 10? Or I forget which one. Was Reddish 8 or 10? I'm getting him and Hayes mixed up. I'm going to say Reddish was, I want to say he's 8. Nope, he was 10. I was going to say, never mind. And that is perfect. This is exactly what you want before playoff time. Your best player breaks his right ankle. Brutal stuff. Brutal stuff. But that's what you're going to get with injuries on. So that means Ty Washington is now going to be the starting point guard. I think for the playoffs, like Jalen Johnson is not going to play, and it's going to be Cooper over him just solely on the fact that he's a point guard. And he has actually been a little bit better. So he's going to get... Oh, no. I got to play 9 guys anyway. Oh, crap. Do I play Windler for his 3-point shooting over Jalen... Because Jalen Johnson and Dyson Daniels have just been kind of crappy this year. So you know what, Dylan Windler? Let's see what he can do. You and Cooper are going to get 15 a night. Gallo and Okongwu 25. I guess I'm going to go like 27 to Washington. Heavily played Collins, Reddish, Hunter, and Okongwu. Oh boy, this is going to be a rough playoff series as the 2 seed. Alright, so we are the 2 seed. Trae Young gets hurt. Luka wins MVP. Paolo Banchero is your rookie of the year. Man, I gotta get him sometime. But it's just, he always goes so high, and I guess how many teams that I usually rebuild don't really draft that high. But I guess I could get him if I'm doing a fantasy rebuild, right? But if it's 3 rings or bust, I have so much pressure to win a championship, man. Trae Young doesn't even get an all-NBA team. Does Capella get an all-defensive team? Nope. And the only thing we get is Ty Washington on all rookie second team. So who are we taking on from the play-in tournament? It is the Miami Heat. Great. How are some play-in tournament teams just better than some regular season teams? And yeah, shout out to this Raptors team. That is sick. They should probably start Anunoby over Trent. But either way, that's fun. We're taking on the Miami Heat, who have Gabe Vincent, Tyler Hero, Jimmy Butler, Mitchell Robinson, Bam Adebayo. We could definitely lose, but their bench isn't very good. And here were the player stats throughout the season. We know Young got hurt. Collins stepped it up this year. Definitely better than last year, but we'll see what he can do. There is DeAndre Hunter, who shot 37 from 3, 89 from the line. Cameron Reddish, 14 points, 37 from 3, 92 from the line. Okongwu was really good, and there's a part of me that wants to pull off a big trade with Capella in the offseason and fully start Okongwu. Gallo was fine for me. Like, it could have been a lot worse, so I'll take that. Ty, we'll see what he can do. How is, like, his recent games with him as the starting point guard? 10-9, 20-4, 23-7. Ooh, he's had some really good games. Okay. I'm kind of excited to see what he can do now for us in the playoffs. Windler ended up playing fine. Better than Daniels or Jalen Johnson would have been. So, yeah, and like Daniels and Johnson are 2 also trade candidates we throw in with Capella. And I don't know. It's going to be a fun offseason either way if we don't end up winning it all. So, game 1, we do win. Who's going to step up? Is it going to be Collins and Hunter? Let's see it. Huge game 1. On to game 2. We end up winning. That is what I'm talking about. We end up winning by 13. Reddish does not have a good game 1. Comes out, drops 31 for me in game 2. Yes, game 3, all right, we can lose by 12. Hero drops 41 on me. Collins with 24. Hunter with 18 and 6. Okay, game 4, we pick up the L. We lose by 10. That hurts. Game 5, we end up winning. Okay, so there's, oh my god, we won by 1. We almost blew it in the 4th quarter. So here we go. On to game 6. Can we defeat the Miami Heat? Nope, we're going to a game 7. Oh boy. Oh my god. Who shot 3 for 20 in that game? I need to know exactly who that was, and they are just going to get yelled at. That was DeAndre Hunter, man. Sheesh. He wasn't good in the playoffs last year. From what I remember, wasn't great. I mean, he was alright, I think. He ended up having like that 56% true shooting, but like, man. I don't know. Like, who? I thought like him or Reddish were really going to step up as the number 1, and neither one of them has. So like, Ty's been pretty shit too. I don't know how this is like a series right now. I don't know how we're going to a game 7. I feel like we should have gotten swept, but let's see what happens. Southeast rivals are who's going to advance to the 2nd round. It looks like it's going to be the Miami Heat, and yes, it will be. They end up beating us by 17. Just an abysmal second half for us. That's brutal. And the Pelicans win it all with Brandon Ingram being your finals MVP. So we're on here to the 2023 offseason. We'll see what we can do. Yeah, here's the squad, or here's everybody retiring. Gennaro Pargo, remember him? If you do, kind of crazy, right? We're going to probably reject all of these. We could have allowed the Stepien role to be thrown out the window. So I don't think I traded for any draft picks this year. I believe I do have my own. Yeah, it's at 28. First round exit gives me the 28th overall pick. That kind of sucks. And I know I have that Cavs pick down the line, but that's really it. I'm going to keep Nate McMillan for 1 more year. We'll see if I end up moving him, but I'm going to give him 1 more shot as our head coach. All right, so here's everybody under contract. I mean, I would probably have to wait until like after the team player options if I wanted to make a big deal. It would preferably be for a shooting guard like next to Trae Young, that would make sense, or a small forward I'd be fine with. And I got offered a lot of power forwards, man, like Randall, Carter Jr., Sabonis, Siakam, like DeRozan and Simmons are kind of power forwards. So yeah, like I said, I'm going to wait till after team player options to make a big trade. So the Magic end up with Victor Wembanyama, the Rockets got Amani Bates, Bulls got Derek Lively. Who did I trade to the Bulls? Wasn't it Kevin Huerter? Guess that experiment didn't work out. We got MJ Rice and Ronaldo Silva. We are going to sign both those guys right there. Okongwu and Jalen Johnson, we are going to pick up those two team options. And like I said, I think I would be comfortable with moving Clint Capella and Jalen Johnson and maybe MJ Rice if I could land a 2 or 3. Now, I don't know who would be on the market specifically. Like, I'm thinking like Jaylen Brown would be somebody that I'd love on this team. But would Boston do that? I don't know. He's in the last year of his deal. You get a young player, you get Capella, you get 2 young players in Capella. Maybe they think about that. I don't know. Paul George is interesting, but he's going to be regressing. I don't know if I really want to touch that. That's a gray area. Bradley Beal, Clint Capella is not going to headline a Bradley Beal deal. I mean, neither really is, God, I don't really want CJ. I want somebody that's also like a great defender. Yeah, like, I don't know. Yeah, like I would like somebody that has a perimeter D. And I mean, I'm looking at, Wiggins isn't terrible, but I don't really think Wiggins is that much better than DeAndre Hunter. So I think I try to go after Jaylen Brown involving Clint Capella. It's going to be tough. So I would also include Dyson Daniels. Oh, he's only a 1.5 stars. That's brutal. Jalen Johnson's 2 stars. And I would throw in my first round pick here, which was MJ Rice. So oh, no, he just got drafted. Okay, never mind. I don't think I want to give up. You know, I would also even include, no. Okay, so let's do that. And let's do this Cavs lottery protected first and my unprotected first next year. So we're giving up Clint Capella, top 10 center in the league, 2 young wings, if they like Daniels and Johnson, 2 first-round picks for an expiring contract. Now, Jaylen Brown's great. In real life, they maybe don't do this, but we don't know what's going on in the game. Maybe that 1-year deal, they don't think they're going to re-sign him, or he's not going to want to re-sign him. They don't want to lose him for nothing. And their best center on their roster right now is Hassan Whiteside, so they desperately need a center. So, yeah, I'm going to offer this to them. They might not even accept it, and they do accept it. Okay, so we add Jaylen Brown to the Atlanta Hawks, and I think just because we lack so much depth right now, I'm definitely bringing back, and yeah, that $15 million trade exception, everybody I can. Hunter's about to take a deal from the Knicks. We are going to be matching that. I'm going to go out and sign Dylan Windler back on a 1-year deal worth $2 million, and I'm going to sign Cameron Reddish as well. So we do have that trade exception. I don't really know if that could be anything if I like included like Gallo in a deal, hypothetically, just seeing if somebody would give me like an expiring deal. But yeah, no, that wouldn't really make a lot of sense. So do I like, I don't know. I gotta get more depth just in case injuries, because they will happen. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I would like maybe another center, which would be nice. Steven Adams on a 1-year deal. I mean, what can go wrong with that? I mean, there's also Chris Boucher. There's Steven Adams. I saw Larry Nance. There's Kelly Olynyk's 2 years older than Steven Adams. I would not have guessed that. Olynyk's 2013, so was Steven Adams. Yeah, I guess Olynyk was at Gonzaga longer than Adams was at Pitt. I'm going to do, yeah, something like that. I'm hoping that actually works. Please take this deal, Steven Adams, because I kind of really want you at this moment. And he's only got 1 deal. Boom, there we go. We get Steven Adams to be the backup center. So yeah, here's the team. I'm hoping Jaylen Brown can maybe switch things up. That means like Cameron Reddish is going to come off the bench and maybe just him as a 6th man. This is going to be a nice opportunity. All right, so the 2023-2024 roster is going to be Young, Brown, Hunter, Collins, Okongwu, yes, with Reddish, Cooper, Adams, Gallo, Washington. Okay, so Cooper is going to get like 10 minutes. I don't think MJ Rice is really going to play. I would like to go probably 19 to Ty. We'll go, Gallo's regressing. I'm going to go 15 to both these guys, yeah. 26 is fine, 28 there. We'll go 31 to Collins. We'll go 35 to Trae, 32 to Brown is fine. And let's go 29 to Hunter. Come on, Nate McMillan, bring me a championship. So we end the season as the 3 seed. That's pretty much been our standard point for this video. John Morant is absolutely insane. Jaden Ivey wins 6th man of the year. Hey, he got drafted by Houston. Shout out to my mock draft video. Whatever. I mean, his efficiency still isn't great. Whatever. I don't care. 2K's just messing with me at that point. And JB Bickerstaff got coach of the year, so that Cavs pick is going to be very late. Tatum gets All-NBA 1st team. Trae Young gets All-NBA 3rd team. And I was hoping maybe Okongwu would pop up somewhere. So it would be cool if we had the Celtics in round 1, and we might see them in round 2. So we're taking on this Pistons team that now has Jalen Duren. They got Kristaps Porzingis, Cade Cunningham still, John Wall. So like, Cade's a stud, but around it, nothing too scary, right? Nothing too scary. John Collins, 17 points this year. 8.7 rebounds. He's got 2 years left on his deal. Trae Young was still very good. There is Jaylen Brown, who wasn't that good. All right. DeAndre Hunter was very good. 58% true shooting. I'm fine with that. Cameron Reddish. Him and Hunter have never really broken down this video, which is a shame. I think Okongwu's fine enough that he's my backup center, so that Capella trade was worth it. Ty Washington, solid. Maybe it was a little bit worse this year, which is a shame. So, I don't know. I don't really have a lot of confidence in this team winning it all. I don't know, though. Maybe we do pull off an upset run. So, I don't really know what rotation I want to go with. Oh, this is what 2K did in the last week of the year. Okay, that's annoying. So, I don't really want to play Sharif Cooper. I don't. This man is very inefficient. He should just probably not be taking any threes. Gonna go 20 minutes there. Gallo this year was fine enough where I can give him 15. Can I give Steven Adams 15? Yeah, why not? What was like Steven Adams per 36? Okay. Weird numbers. MJ Rice barely played. His per 36 would have been very good. I'm just kidding there. So Trae Young can get 38 minutes. Brown 33. 34 is good there. We'll go 28. We'll go 28. And I'll actually go 30 there. And then 27 to Reddish. So we'll see what happens in the playoffs. Can we beat the Pistons? I don't even remember the last time we got a playoff series victory. I think we lost to the Heat last year. And then in year 1, didn't we lose to like the Celtics in round 1 too? So yeah, we're 0-2 in the playoffs so far. But we end up beating the Pistons in 5, which is nice. And yeah, we do have the Boston Celtics next. So we'll take a look at their lineup, seeing if Clint Capella is in that rotation. And he is. They got Jalen Johnson at the 4. Anthony Simons, Jazzy Gortman, Jason Tatum. How's Gortman been? All right. And then do they have... They don't have Dyson Daniels in the rotation at all. Okay. He didn't play for them at all. Didn't you trade Robert Williams for Rocco Prakicin and you didn't play him? That's very smart. So can we get revenge on them from 2 years ago? We do beat them in game 1. Very nice, by 11 points. Trae Young 32 and 14. Jaylen Brown drops 30 on his former team. And yeah, he wanted to test free agency in the offseason. Somebody else did as well. It might have been a Okongwu. But great game from Trae Young there in game 2. Can we go up 3-0? Yes, we can. Let's go. We end up winning by 4, so some close games here. That was really, I guess, the first closest game. And let's see what happens here. Can we, gentlemen? Okay. We can't sweep them. Lost by 3. Trae Young 37 and 15 and 8 rebounds. He's absurd. But we end up, gentlemen, sweeping them. We beat them by 35 points. That is what I'm talking about. How was Capella for them? He's been really good. So, yeah, it really hasn't been Capella's fault. And, yeah, the big 4... I mean, Hunter, I guess maybe he's in there. Or Collins would be the big 4. I guess the big 4 would technically be Trae, Collins, Brown. I don't really think Okongwu, but Okongwu's, I think, very underrated for us. So now we have Cleveland, who are the 1 seed. They have Garland, Okoro, Powell, Mobley, Allen. It's just like that Mobley-Garland duo is just absurd in 2K. They have Chris Paul off the bench. They still have Markkanen. They still have Sexton. Oh, my God, we're going to lose to this team. Are you kidding me? All right, we win game 1. Reverse psychology, mother... So we end up winning by 12. Trae Young drops 17 assists. I mean, we do have a cheat code of ourselves with Trae Young. We're up 2-0. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. Come on, let's go up 3-0. Let's go. Holy crap. Trae Young has been a man possessed in these playoffs. It's nice. I was mentioning this in the Mavericks rebuild. Like, the Western Conference cheat codes are Ja, Zion, and Luka. And in the East, I mentioned there was LaMelo Ball, kind of Cade, kind of Tatum, but I think Trae Young might be up there as like a cheat code in the Eastern Conference. As we sweep the 1-seeded Cavs, we drop 151 on them. These guys combined for 73 points, these 3, and then Trae Young drops 46 and 11 of his own, and we are taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves in the finals. They still have Jeremy Grant, and they're rolling him at the 3. Interesting decision. So here we go. Hawks versus Timberwolves. What is their connection? I don't really know of a connection. I'm trying to think of like a trade they made or something, but I don't. We win game 1. We win game 2. Gallinari breaks his right finger. He's out for the remainder of the playoffs. I guess if it's going to be the 9th man, I'm cool with that. MJ Rice, you know, I trust you over Sharif Cooper. Just kidding. What am I doing? Let me just play Dylan Windler because I know he'll be at least somewhat efficient from 3. And can we end up? Yeah, we're going to beat them, right? And we sweep them. Oh, my goodness. First 2 rounds, we go 8-2. Second 2 rounds, we go 8-0. And Trae Young is your finals MVP. Thank you, Nathan McMillan. Let's go. So I hope you guys did enjoy that realistic Hawks rebuild. Let me know if you think like this, I didn't end up making the move, but like a Collins for Simmons trade idea is something you would do. Would you do like Hunter and Reddish and like Bogey for Ben Simmons? I don't think the Sixers would want to do that. Maybe the Hawks wouldn't want to do that either because just the spacing of Collins, Capella, and Simmons isn't the best because Collins isn't like not like he's just not knocked down from 3, like he's not hitting 40+% when, yeah, you never know. But yeah, let me know what you guys think the Hawks should do. Are they just kind of in a slump right now and they're going to be fine? I think they're going to end up being, honestly, I think a playoff team. I mean, Maybe they end up being in the play-in tournament, but I mean like a non-play-in tournament playoff team, but it's looking like they'll probably be a play-in tournament team, which is still fine. I still trust them over the Knicks and the the Celtics when it matters the most, in the Wizards. So we'll see. Hope you guys enjoy. Drop a like if you did. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.